Good evening, and welcome to DRM News. In a developing story from the Gaza Strip, Hamas is expanding its administrative and economic control over the territory, even as international efforts to implement a post-war governance plan under US President Donald Trump's initiative remain in limbo. Residents and merchants report a resurgence of Hamas Authority through price regulations, import fees, and enforcement measures, raising questions about the group's willingness to relinquish power as promised.
Honestly, we came to shop today, and from what I see in the market, it's like a stock exchange, constantly changing. There's no stability. No one can control these prices. Every now and then, in a moment, you find the price. You may go to the same person and return 10 minutes later to find the price has gone up. No one can keep these prices fixed. And the prices are high. There's no income. The circumstances are difficult. Life is hard, and winter is coming. Only God knows our condition. Regarding the government doesn't interfere in anything. This is all traders' game. The big traders are the ones playing their role, and the citizens are the ones suffering. Citizens are caught in between. People today are struggling. There's no life. I am telling you, the ones living, working, and buying are the employees, all through mobile applications. But there are people without income. Where will they get money from? How will they eat? People are living off soup kitchens.
The ceasefire, brokered under Trump's Gaza plan on October 10th, marked a pivotal moment. It halted hostilities, secured the release of the last living hostages from the Hamas-led attacks on Israel on October 7, 2023, and outlined a roadmap for transition. This includes establishing a transitional authority, deploying a multinational security force, disarming Hamas, and initiating reconstruction. Yet, nearly a month later, progress has faltered. Gaza's de facto partition is becoming more entrenched, with Israeli forces still occupying over half the territory. In the areas under Hamas control, home to nearly all of Gaza's 2 million residents, the group has moved decisively to reassert dominance. Following Israel's withdrawal from certain zones, Hamas executed dozens of Palestinians accused of collaboration with Israel, theft, or other crimes. Now, a dozen Gazans, including 10 merchants with first-hand knowledge, describe a broader web of oversight. Authorities monitor all incoming goods, imposing fees on privately imported items such as fuel and cigarettes, and fining vendors for perceived overcharging. One senior food importer, speaking anonymously, detailed checkpoints where trucks are halted, drivers questioned, and shipments recorded. While these measures have curbed some price manipulation, costs remain exorbitantly high compared to pre-war levels, exacerbating hardship amid unemployment and approaching winter. Hamas disputes these claims. Ismail al-Thawabta, head of the group's government media office, described reports of new taxes on cigarettes and fuel as inaccurate.
We have a field plan related to consumer protection and maintaining, as much as possible, the relationship between merchants and consumers. However, government teams are insufficient to fully regulate the markets. Therefore, there is a relative control regarding this, controlling trade, the economy, goods, and price increases. But we still need to exert more effort to achieve 100% control. There are some violations related to this. There is a rise in prices, but this is a gradual process. Government teams are working gradually to control this issue. Since the ceasefire came into effect, signs of lawlessness and outlaw gangs have been combated. Tens of them have been neutralized, and tens have surrendered to the Palestinian government. Some remained in some areas, but the entire Gaza Strip is now getting under complete control.
He emphasized that operations focus solely on urgent humanitarian and administrative tasks, with strenuous efforts to stabilize prices. The Wabta reaffirmed Hamas's commitment to a smooth handover to a technocratic administration, stating, "Our goal is for the transition to proceed smoothly and to prevent chaos." Hamas's institutional resilience underscores its entrenchment. Before the war, its government employed up to 50,000 personnel, including police. Thousands were killed, yet survivors continue receiving standardized salaries of 1,500 shekels, $470, monthly, funded reportedly from stockpiled reserves. The group has replaced 4 regional governors and 11 Politburo members lost in the conflict, signaling operational continuity. Analysts view these actions as strategic. Gaith Al-Amari, a senior fellow at the Washington Institute, explained that Hamas seeks to demonstrate to Gazans and foreign powers that it cannot be sidelined.
According to the Trump 20-point plan, Hamas needs to be out of the picture, both in civilian and security sphere. And basically saying, no, we're here to stay. We cannot be bypassed. They are creating facts on the ground that will complicate the work of the international community. And frankly, the longer that the international community waits, the more entrenched Hamas becomes.
Rival factions add complexity. The Palestinian Authority, PA, led by President Mahmoud Abbas and his Fatah movement, which Hamas ousted from Gaza in 2007, is advocating for influence in the new administration, though Israel opposes its return. Fatah spokesperson Muntha al-Hayek in Gaza interpreted Hamas's moves as evidence of intent to continue to govern. In Israeli-held areas, small anti-Hamas Palestinian groups maintain a presence, posing an ongoing challenge. The US response is unequivocal. A State Department spokesperson addressing reports of fees and controls declared, "This is why Hamas cannot and will not govern in Gaza." They noted progress toward the multinational force and stated a new government could form upon United Nations approval of the Trump plan. As Gaza teeters between fragile stability and uncertainty, the international community's inaction risks solidifying Hamas's hold. Will the transitional framework advance, or will delays perpetuate the status quo? DRM News will continue monitoring this critical situation. Stay tuned for updates. This has been your DRM News Report.